In this video, we will learn how to create a shape tween. The scene shows ocean waves and a kraken in it. To start with, of course, we need graphics. You can use any tool you prefer to draw your graphics. I have used Fresco on my iPad since I'm not comfortable using mouse and I do not own a graphic tablet. You can see that I have drawn the wave and a kraken. The point to be noted here is that I have each wave on a separate layer. Now let me hide these layers and show you each layer individually, so that you can see how I have created these. So this is the sky layer, this is the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and there is a kraken, and then wave 4, wave 5, wave 6, and wave 7. Creating these waves individually will help us to individually animate each layer. And now the next steps are we are going to import all these graphics into Adobe Animate, and let's get these animated. Okay, so we are now in Adobe Animate. An empty file has been created. Now next we will go to File menu, Import, and Import to Stage option. Find our PSD and open it into the current file. Now this pop-up window shows us all the options which we can choose from. So select all the layers which we need. Sometimes we might have some layers which are not needed in a project. We can safely deselect them. I will choose bitmap image with editable layer style so that if some advanced editing is needed, we should be able to do that. The very important things which you really need to know is convert layers to animate layers. This option will create an equivalent of your Photoshop layer into Animate. And you can also choose set stage size to same as the Photoshop canvas, so that if your canvas size is different, that could be fixed. Or if you want canvas size bigger and you would like to resize the shapes which you import, you can definitely do that too. Now let's import. All right, you can see that all the layers have been imported. So for the simplicity, I will hide all the layers and just enable one wave layer so that we can see how we are going to animate this using shape tween. Okay, now let's create shape tween on wave 1. We can do it in two ways. One, we just create a shape tween here right in this file, or we create a symbol which we can later use. I always prefer the second way because it is reusable, and also often when we create some motion, we would like to repeat that motion for a certain amount of time in a scene. So I will show you how to create a symbol. So I'm going to copy wave 1 because I will be using this in the symbol. So go to Insert menu, New Symbol. Let's call it wave 1 and make sure the type is graphic and press OK. So wave 1 has been created. Let's paste the frame which we have copied, and I'm going to make the size smaller so that we can see it. All right, now if we right click on this shape, you see that create shape tween is disabled because shape tween does not work directly on the drawing objects because I have drawn those, and often when we import something from other sources into Animate, this may not work. So for that, we need to do some processing on this shape. And so first of all, make sure we break it apart, and then right click on it and trace the bitmap. So the tracing the bitmap will make sure that it becomes selectable. And now if we right click, we can see that create shape tween has been enabled. Before we apply the create shape tween, let's add some frames so that we can see the motion in action. So insert frames. Now frames have been added. Now we are going to create shape tween. and the color of the layer has been changed, which shows us that the shape tween has been added to the layer. We will add a keyframe to the last layer. Now, the next step is we need to add shape hints. Okay, so we need to go to Modify menu, Shape, and use Add Shape Hint. All right, so there are 26 shape hints A to Z, which we can use on a shape. And you can use it from the menu, or you can use the shortcut. For the Mac, the shortcut is Shift Command H. And I'm going to put 4 or 5 shape hints on this shape. Okay. All right. Now, we will go to the last keyframe. All those 5 shape hints have been recreated here. So this is E. So E I'm going to put here, and A, B, C, D I'm going to put at the exact location where they were in the keyframe 1. So this is D, this is C, this is B. Since shape tween morph one shape into the other shape, we need to make sure that everything looks okay. Let's have a quick run. Yes, it looks okay. All right, so if you see, the wave have been created. We can check it by running it into the loop. Excellent. Okay, now wave 1 have been created for us as a symbol. We can use this symbol into our scene now. So in here, I'm actually going to get rid of this, and I'm going to drag wave 1. Okay, and you can, right now it's not running because there are no frames added. So let's add some frames here. So let me add 220 frames. So insert frame, and now, okay, so now we have created some roughly 7 seconds where we want this wave to run. And let's play it, and you can see that our scene will run for 7 seconds, and it will keep looping the wave because the wave is in the symbol. So whatever motion we have created in the symbol, that will be keep repeating. Now we are going to do the same thing on all the waves. Now you can see in the right panel, I have created all the waves as symbols, repeating the same steps we did for the wave 1. So now we have all the 7 waves here. I have emptied all the frames here for all the layers, and I have created frames for the sky layer. And if I enable it, so this is what we have so far. And now what I'm going to do is, in wave 2 layer, I'm going to drag the wave 2 symbol, which we have created using the same step as I said for the wave 1. Okay, and same, we are going to add 220 frames for this. And then we are going to use the same for the wave 3. That symbol we are going to okay. And now for the wave 4, now for wave 5, we can of course adjust these as we want, because now they are in shape of symbols, and their wave motion is created, and we can play around with the waves. Now wave 6, and finally wave 7. Okay, so all the waves are there. We now need to basically create frames. And we also need to create frame here. All right, now we have all the frames and our waves should be working, and you can see they are looking nice. Now if we also make the kraken visible, and there we go, kraken is there too. Okay, so now if you see, you can of course change the size of kraken, but the waves are working, shape tween is working very nicely. Okay, I have exported the scene as a video, and if we run this, you can see it as running, and I have played it in loop. So after 7 seconds, of course, it will repeat itself. All right, now let's create a little bit more movement or motion in the scene. Let's go to Animate, and now we are going to create some motion on the kraken. Let's make the kraken appearing from the water. To make it quick, I'm going to merge the layer so that I get one flat layer for the kraken. So these are the merged layers. On the first keyframe for the merged layer, I'm going to move kraken inside the waves, and we will make it slowly appear. And now let's go to somewhere in the middle, or maybe let's say actually nearly at the end. So let's say at 150 frame, I'm going to add another keyframe. And for this keyframe, we are going to make it appear like this. All right, so if you run it, you will see it will be a very sudden movement that on the last keyframe, suddenly it will pop out. But what we want to do is a very smooth motion. So for that, what we will do is, let's create classic tween. And now you will see that it will slowly emerge out of the water. All right, that's I think way better. Okay, here is the exported video. Let's run it, and you can see that the kraken is slowly emerging from the waves. We can do some further motion into that, make the tentacles moving, but that is a part of another video. So we will do that later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.